Hi there, Raam Anand here once again. And one of the biggest questions I always get, or most common questions that I always get is, Ram, how do I put out unique content that nobody else has already shared, or something that people already do not know? I get this from all kinds of people, especially when someone is trying to write a book. They want to make sure that the content within their book is unique and also something that nobody else has already shared before. Very fair, quite fair, I understand that. And here are 10 big ideas just for this purpose, just to make sure. These ideas are for making sure that you share content. It could be in the form of a book, it could be in the form of a video, blog post, your talks, it could be anything. But how to make sure you don't just share something that is already out there, or you don't have to settle with sharing those same cat videos, or forward something else that is not on your own, or something that you have created or you're proud of. Here are 10 big ways to share with the world your unique content that nobody else can share, and I'm 100% I can guarantee that these things definitely people will not know that you can share. Big ideas. I have them all on my laptop here. I want to share them with you, all the 10 big ideas today in this video. Let's start. The first one, unique life lessons. What do I mean by that? I have that figured out too. Share the distinct lessons you have learned from the biggest challenges you faced in your career or business or even life. Of course, we all have faced challenges, right? We have come this far. You have come this far by facing and overcoming many challenges. You have come all this to this level with your grit, with your determination and your hard work. I'm sure about that. I'm sure you will also agree. When you share your unique life lesson, I say unique because your life is nothing like anybody else's life. True? So when you share your unique life lessons, what you have learned, what the challenges that you have overcome, that will definitely be unique, and nobody else can share your life lessons better than you can, right? So this is idea number one: share unique life lessons so that these lessons are as unique and as fresh as you are. Next one. This is interesting. Behind the scenes. Offer real-time, behind the scenes look at how you operate in your profession or business, which could be like vastly different from the usual stuff. You know what I mean? Let's say you're a professional. Let's say you're a doctor or a surgeon. Maybe you can share a few clips of what happens before surgery, during surgery, or after the surgery. Maybe you're an engineer. You set to do something that you do every day that is very normal for you to do, that is very special for other people. For example, me, how do I coach people when we are working to help them create their own books? What do we do? What do we say? How do we work on that? These are some ideas that I can share behind the scenes, for example. Or I can share ideas behind the scenes like how do we create videos like this, for example. What kind of cameras that I use, what kind of gear I use, and what kind of setup I use, what kind of lights I use, what kind of software that I use. This could be really, really valuable content, the behind the scenes content. That could be very unique. Definitely nobody would have shared those kind of ideas with their audience. And I am saying all these things and giving you examples so that you can apply and see these ideas into your own situation. Idea number 3, important, most people miss this, very valuable: mistakes and missteps. Mistakes and missteps. Instead of successes, or along with successes, talk about the times when you failed and the unexpected learnings that arose from those failures. For example, creating videos like this, I have failed many times in the early days. I didn't know what kind of gear to use, what kind of camera to use, or even how to present myself. I used to freeze in front of the camera. That happens to everybody. So when I share these mistakes and missteps, like what happened, that will give a lot of hope and help to so many people, because you are saving their time, you are saving them effort, and most importantly, you are saving people from the same frustrations that you faced when you took those missteps or made those mistakes. Really, really valuable information. Again, this is, as you can see, would be definitely unique, because your mistakes and your missteps are very personal to you and very specific to your conditions. So when you share them, definitely guaranteed there will be unique content and very valuable content as well. Next one, this is cool. Personal systems. I'm sure we all together, we all have our own personal systems, personal ways of doing things. It's like diving deep into the very specifics of let's say it could be systems, it could be tools, it could be software, it could be the processes that you have developed to enhance anything. It could be to processes that you have developed to enhance productivity, or your performance, or creativity, or efficiency, business efficiency. It could be anything. I'm sure you have developed your own set of rules, set of ideas, step-by-step processes. Sharing those ideas could be very unique, very helpful, and again, nobody else can share the systems that you have developed. It need not be very complex stuff. It could be simple things like 3 steps to shoot a good video. Maybe you have figured it out. 5 steps to do something, or 7 steps to go from point A to point B. This could be your process, and you can share those processes. Those are very unique to you and very special to other people, and these are the things that will make people connect with you deeply at very deeper levels, because you are sharing all these ideas with them. And you don't have to share all of these ideas together. I'm giving you examples. I'm giving you 10 different ideas. You can use 1 or 2 ideas, maybe 1 or 2, 3 ideas in your book, maybe 1 or 2, 3 ideas in your videos, maybe in your blog posts here and there. So write them down and use them in your content creation. All right. Hope you are liking it so far. Many more to come. Next one, influences from unrelated fields. What do I mean by that? Cross-pollinating your ideas by applying principles from completely different fields into your area of expertise. For instance, this idea of ecosystem. People always the word ecosystem comes from biology, right? And when you apply that word or idea into startups, we all talk about startup ecosystem, right? You could bring something like that from a different industry or a different concept and bring it to your industry or your topics, and you can coin your own phrases, you can coin your own words, and that would be very, very unique and very special, and you will become known for these kind of things, bringing different ideas, different concepts, different influences from unrelated. Where is biology and where is startup? I mean, they could be related, but in that sense, people are talking about startup ecosystems. Like that, you can create your own influences. Next one, this is cool. The why of decisions. Instead of just discussing the good or bad decisions you may have made, why don't you dissect the thought process that led you to make those decisions? Sometimes the why can be more enlightening than the what. You know what I mean? So talking about why you made those decisions and what led you to make those decisions could be very, very unique experiences for you to share with your audience. And when I say audience, I mean it could be your group, it could be your spouse, it could be your children, it could be your entire audience, your customers or your fan followings, your social media followers, or the people who read your books maybe. And all these ideas are actually coming from this idea of me trying to coach first time authors, usually in the leadership levels, telling them and directing them what kind of content they need to bring out when they want to write their own books. All right, next one, something that is unique that you can put out there, which is also useful: adapting to change. We all have adapted to change, right? I'm sure you have adapted to change as well. Share stories about how are the circumstances that led you to adapt, and how did you evolve your thinking over the years, your process, your thinking, your how did it all change? I'm sure you're not the same person you were when you were in high school, right? Or when you were in college, or when you just came out of college, or when you let's say when you got married today, you may be different. So what led you to those changes? How did you adapt? The situations changed, the surroundings changed, the environment changed, the market conditions changed as well. So how did you adapt? Those are very, very unique to you, and those are also valuable information that can inspire a lot of people, help a lot of people, and especially useful for a lot of people, and definitely more exciting and useful than sharing someone else's content. You will feel proud about your own accomplishments or growth, and it will also help you connect at very deeper levels with your audience. By sharing your ideas, you are helping other people or maybe inspiring them. That's why you become an even better thought leader than you had already thought, than you think that you are. Next one, very interesting because of today's the environment, the big global landscape that we are all familiar with. The idea is global and local interplay. Like, how are they interplaying with each other in an increasingly globalized world? How do the local nuances play out at the global level in your field? Talk about those things. Share your on the ground experiences. Share what you think is what we call as thinking global and doing local, maybe, or in some other context, maybe from local to global. So how do these two ideas interplay? Like, globally we are thinking about competing with the giants, and locally we are creating a big difference. So how do you combine these two? Or what is your idea, or what are your thought processes, what are your concepts, and what do you want to talk about these two big ideas, and how do they interplay? That could be definitely unique to you and your industry and your experiences, right? Next one, blind spots. Yes, blind spots. Explore areas in your field that you feel are what we call as blind spots or taboos. Something that that needs an open discussion, something that people are afraid to do or hesitant to do. What are those things, and how do we bring those ideas and these concepts into the open discussion? Talk about those ideas, talk about those blind spots, talk about all these important elements that people are, maybe they should not be doing, but they are doing, or they should be doing but are not doing. All right. So these are, when we when I work with experts, when we ask them two different kinds of questions to ask. One is the frequently asked questions. These are questions that people are already asking. The other set is should ask questions. These are FAQs, these are SAQs, should ask questions. When you make a list of questions that people should be asking you but they are not, people should be talking about this but they are not actually. They may be asking the wrong questions all the time, but they should instead be asking these questions. So these are the blind spots. These are the taboos. Talk about maybe these are the kind of controversial things that nobody wants to talk about. So talk about those things. talk about these, then your content will definitely be unique and special and useful at the same time as well. Next one, the last big idea for today: future predictions. You are an expert, right? You have earned your expertise in some field, in some topic. You have spent your life working on this topic, in this industry, in this profession. Your life work is behind you, you know. And when you are an expert, who is known as an expert in the first place? Someone who knows the classic, the things that used to work previously, someone who knows what's going on, the present situation, the contemporary ideas, and someone who can also make a fair prediction into the future, the outlook, the future outlook. Those are actually the kind of experts, you know. You may have seen them on TV. They get invited all the time. Someone, let's say, the TV show wants to invite an astrology expert. So they bring an expert. How do they know that someone is an expert? Because they know the past. They know they have the present. They have a good handle on the present, and at the same time, they also know a good, they can also predict the future to a very accurate extent. So based on your experience, what do you foresee for the future in your industry or in your field or your topic? Those are the future predictions. For example, as simple as how would be your specific industry, what do you think is going to happen next year, in the next 12 months, in the next 2 years, 5 years down the line? What do you think based on your experience? You've been in this industry for some time now. You know what's going on. How do you think the situations might change? What can come? Technology, for example. What new technology can come, and how do you think people should handle those new changes? What are the evolutions and what are the revolutions that are going to happen in your industry, in your topic? Talk about those things. Here are, hope you enjoyed this video and hope this gives you, different angles to look at creating, because content is the king and the queen and the entire council of ministers in this new era of the next 10-20 years is going to be the era of experts, the era of content. Content continues to become very special, very unique, and especially after the generative AIs that is coming in, people's content is going to become even more special. Maybe Google can give you some content, maybe some chat GPT can give you some content, maybe some other generative AI can give content, but that's not people want. People want your unique perspectives, they want your ideas, they want your experiences, because that is unique to you. How did you handle all these things? Maybe these 10 ideas will give you different ways, different angles to share your content with the world, share your message with the world in a unique and useful way. Thank you for watching. Let's meet again in another video, or maybe in a seminar or an event that we can bump into each other sometime. Until then, keep smiling, believe in yourself, and get all the best things in life.